What's up course heroes, welcome to yet another video. This is your boy Amit and today we are going to look at system.io and how to set up your lead magnet funnel using system. Let's get started. So I'm inside my system school. From here I'm going to go click on funnels and this is where all funnels start. So the funnel that I'm making today is this one, how to make money on TikTok. Now I already have this. So what I'm going to do is go create a new one. Once you hit create, you get to this window where you're going to give your funnel a name. I'm also going to pick a domain here. So I'm going to pick this for my custom domain. You get, I believe, 10 custom domains on the webinar plan. That's the plan I am on. If you're on a startup plan, you might have less custom domains. Further down, you have to select the goal of this funnel, and this drives what kind of components are going to be automatically added to your page. For our use case here today, we are going to choose the build an audience funnel. And when I choose that, system is going to show me templates that are geared towards building an audience. So I've selected that as an option and then hit save. This creates our funnel. And right off the bat, you can see that the funnel is created and it's active, and you can see the created date and time. Now I can go click on this funnel and start creating my lead magnet. From here, a few things to note. On the left side here, you have your standard funnel page and the thank you page. Both of these you will have to rename, and then you can add more steps by clicking the add step button. This can have as many steps as you want. I think I have a funnel that has about 55 steps or something because it is templates that I give away for those who sign up to system using my affiliate link. So I'll drop that link in the description. You can check that out. For now, let's scroll down here and see which funnel design we're going to use today. I am going to choose one. Let's use this one right here. And just like that, our funnel template has been picked. If you ever want to change that, you can simply go to the change page template option. And just note that when you change the template, any custom work you have done will disappear and you'll have to start from scratch. So actually, let's pick this one now and show you how it works. So now my template is picked. Before I get into editing, I want to show you how to change the name and the URL for your lead magnet. So I'm going to type in the same name as my funnel name, and then I'm going to give it a URL. You don't have to put the hyphens in there. You can just do it without the hyphens. That's totally fine. Once you have typed in your URL, just click out anywhere and you will see this green check. That means this URL is available for this specific domain, and you should be able to go and create the funnel. From here, I'm going to go into the edit page, and this is where you will make all your changes for this funnel. Now we are not going to go in depth into how this funnel builder works, how systems landing page builder works. It is pretty intuitive. If you have ever used a drag and drop landing page builder, then you will know exactly how to use this. There are components on the left side. You simply drag them and drop them onto your page. Once you drag and drop them, you can customize them however you like by clicking the settings gear icon. So we'll do a little bit of customization, not much. The goal here is to show you how to set up your lead magnet funnel and how to start collecting leads and sending them emails. So let's look at this page template. I like the way it's laid out. There's a second opt-in option here, and then some blog articles, and then also a footer. I also want to see what it looks like on mobile. So I'm going to click this mobile icon, and it should render pretty well on mobile. Most system pages automatically do a good job of rendering well on mobile. There might be some things you need to tweak, which is totally common on these page builders. So this looks good on mobile as well. Let's go back to our desktop. Now, one thing I want to do right off the bat here is not have this second email option. So I'm going to delete that. And then I'm also going to move this down here, so it looks more middle of the page. Delete this row, and now my button is center aligned on the page. What I want to happen is whenever someone clicks this button, I want them to scroll back up here. So let me show you first how to do that. In order to do that, I'm going to click the settings icon on this entire row, and all the way to the bottom here, you're going to see something called ID attribute. I'm going to copy that ID attribute, Then let's go to our button, hit the settings icon here. And once you hit the settings icon, you'll see a new menu opens up on this left pane. So what I want to say here is whenever someone clicks this button, I want them to open a URL, and that ID that we copied earlier, I'm going to paste that ID here and I'm going to say open in same window. Now I don't remember if I need to add a pound sign in front of it or not. First, let's try without the pound sign. I'm going to hit save and preview, see if this works. Yep, that does not work. Now let me go and add the little pound sign here and then give it a shot. All right, let's scroll down to the page, press the button again, and yep, that works perfect. So that's a neat trick to remember. Anytime you want people to scroll on the same page, you can just copy the ID attribute and then put that in the button itself. Now the next thing I want to do is show you how easy it is to add or remove fields on this form. So on the left side here, you will see there is form input. I can just drag and drop that form input. Just like that, I have added a second field on my lead magnet. Now I haven't set the field yet. I have just added a field and you can see a warning here that says input type not set. So for that, I'm going to click the settings gear icon and select a type of field. So let's select their name and email for this one. I'm going to move the name field to the top of the email field. Here we go. Perfect. Now I don't really like this layout of the name and email being on the left side and the button on the right. So what I'm going to do is add a 3-column row in here, get the button in one of these rows, and then our name and email field in the other one. You can see they're not really aligned to the center. So what you can do is click on your row and make sure the row alignment is center for all of these. Now the name and email field are still not matching. So let's figure out how to make them match. What I'm going to do first is click on this email field, check the settings and make sure that the font size and the line height are the same as the first name. So we have 18 and 35 here. If we go and check the first name, okay, it's 18, but the line height is not 35. So let me change that. Okay, so now the line height is the same, but I also noticed that this specific row is not center aligned. So let me do that. Do the same for this one. Okay, I think we're good. Now let's make sure that the margins and padding for both these fields match. So I'm going to again click on the email, go down here. I can see there's no margin other than the right one where there's -15. If we look at the first name, there is a top margin as well. So I'm going to remove that and I'm not going to give it a right margin right now. So let's leave it at 0. Now the fields are aligned, but of course our sign up button is too big. So let's work on that next. What I'm going to do is click on the settings, see if we can decrease the font size and also get the line height to be the same as the other two fields. Perfect. Now it's too small to read what it says. So I'm also going to go and change the text on the button. All right, so I have added the new field, changed the text on the button and aligned all the fields to have the exact same size. However, I'm noticing that the email field's corners are way too rounded than the first name one. So I'm going to check that as a final thing before we move on to the next step. So I'm going to click on the first name field settings and the rounded corners are 5 for all 4 of them. Let's check the email one and make sure it's the same. It's not, so let's make it 5 across the board. And then same thing with my submit button. I also want to make sure that the rounded corners are 5 there as well. Now I don't need this extra row at the bottom, so I can go ahead and delete that. And just like that, our lead magnet is coming along. We should now be able to collect information, which is first name, email, and one last thing I want to add here is a little checkbox so I can have my leads agree to the terms and conditions before they opt in. In order to add the checkbox, again, I'm going to go down here and under the form blocks, I can see there's a checkbox element here. I'm going to drag that and put it right here under my fields. I know you can't see it at all. We're going to change that right now. So what I'm going to do is click on the checkbox settings here and change this text color to be a little bit more legible. Perfect. And then if you want to change this text completely or type something else in it, you can just go click into it and start typing. So I've added terms and conditions here, but I want this terms and conditions to open a link. So I can highlight that text, click the link option here, and then just type in my URL. For now, let's just type in google.com. Now, something to note here is once I typed in and made it a link, that link has disappeared, so your users won't be able to see it. How we fix that is we need to go into the page settings and change the color for our hyperlinks. So first let me hit save changes here. Then we're going to click on the settings box here, go down to our link, color of links right here, and let's change that. And now we have a different color for the link and your visitors will be able to view it. Now something cool to note about checkboxes and buttons is you can run automations right off of this. For example, if someone checks this box, let's say I want to add a tag so I know that they have checked the box. I can click on the checkbox settings, click on automation rule here and add an action. Now the action I want to add is add a tag which says that they have checked the box, but I don't have that tag available right now. So I'm just going to pick a random tag here and save rule. Now if I click back into the settings, you will see under the automations, there is an automation that's going to run when someone checks that box. Now you can also make it optional, but if this optional is not checked, that means this box is required to be checked by your leads. And you can also choose what error message to show them if they forget to check the box. So right now it just says message if box remains unticked. Doesn't really make much sense. So let's customize that message. So I've added a message, added the checkbox, but now I also want to run some automations off of that submit button. So in order to do that, I'm going to click the submit button settings. The first thing I want to make sure is whenever someone submits this form, that my action is set to submit the form, which is already set for me. Sometimes it might be set to open URL or next step URL. Just make sure it's set to submit form if that's the action you want your leads to take. Our next option is where do you want to send the users once the form has been submitted. So I'm going to say yes, just take them to the next step. And how system knows what the next step is, if we go back to our funnel, it's going to be this second step right here. So let's go back to our editor and do a few more automations on top of that button. To do that, again, click on the button settings and I'm going to add an automation rule here. And this time I'm going to subscribe them to a campaign. So I'm going to click subscribe to campaign, and this can be your nurture campaign that you might have set up in system. So right now I'm going to use the daily prompting automation campaign and add one more action, which is going to be enrolling them in a free course of mine. So I'm going to choose my free course and save rule. So now we have three automations running on this page. One is whenever someone checks a box, they're going to get tagged. Second is whenever someone submits the form, they're going to get subscribed to some campaign and also enroll in a course. You can also enable double opt-in by checking this box. And then further down here, there's a bunch of settings you can look at for this button. The rest of the elements on the page are completely customizable. One thing to note here is the desktop only. What this means is that this specific row, all three of them, are not going to be visible on mobile. Now, if we toggle to the mobile option, you will see that the reviews are still there, but this one says mobile only because on mobile we are using a carousel element, whereas on desktop we are not using the carousel element because you have more viewing space. How you can do that is, let's try and add another element here. So let's add one more carousel and let's add an image inside this carousel. Now if we go to the settings, you can see on top here I've selected the image. I can use these breadcrumbs to select something else. So let's select this carousel and I can say that only make this visible on desktop. So now you see the desktop only option, or I can reverse it and say only visible on mobile. So that disappears from your desktop page, but when you go on the mobile view, you will see that item right here. So that's how it works. And if you want to change the settings, you can just highlight this entire row, go down here and uncheck the mobile option. So now this will also be visible on mobile. But you can see on mobile, it takes up too much room And that is why on mobile it's in carousel form and not like this, to preserve that space. So at this point, my lead magnet is essentially ready to rock and roll. And of course, in your case, you're going to change the images, the heading, the text, the whole copy, everything, right? Which reminds me, if you haven't signed up for the 5-day AI copywriting challenge yet, I will drop that link in the description. Check that out. It helps show you how to use ChatGPT to write landing pages that convert. So it's free to join. I'll drop that link in the description. Now, before we test out this funnel, there are a few more things I want to show you. First is the page level settings. So you already saw how I was able to change the link colors using these settings. The other things you can do when you click on this page setting is you can change your font family. You can change your font sizes. So if I want to increase the size, I can do that right here. Change the text color. And this applies to the entire page. But once you have an element on the page, you can also use its own settings to change the color. Going back to our page settings, I can change the heading typography. So right now it's set to prompt. I can choose a different one and you will see it goes into effect real time. You can also change the language, the background color and image. Now this is something important that I always like to change is the SEO settings. So this is how when you share the link of your page, whether on social media or when someone finds this through a search engine result, they're going to see these titles. So it's very important to keep track of changing this when you are setting up your lead magnet funnel. So I'm going to give it the correct title and also a social share image. Let's just add this one, and I'm not going to hide it from search engines, so I'm going to uncheck that. And then lastly, you can choose a Facebook event if you have connected your Facebook pixel under integrations, and you can also edit the header and footer code, which essentially lets you add either HTML, CSS or JavaScript on this page. And then finally, my favorite setting is to display my affiliate badge. If you check this button, the system.io badge is shown on the right side here, and this automatically has your affiliate code connected to it. So if you want to make some extra income, you can always have this enabled. So that's for the landing page settings. Now, before we test this, there's a few more things I want to show you. So let's head back to the main menu and I'll show you those things. All right, back on my funnel page, a few other things to note here. One is we haven't set up our thank you page yet. So that next step URL, when someone hits the submit button, we need to go set that up. But just like our landing page, it is fairly easy to do. So what I need to do is click on this second step here and then pick one of these pre-made templates for my thank you page. Again, all of this is fully customizable. So just for our testing, I'm going to use this thank you page here. And then finally, I want to walk you through some of these steps here before we test out our funnel. The automation rules, as we already noticed, you can set automation rules for when someone submits the form or when someone checks the box. So these are the two automation rules that I have set up. Now what you can do is also click on these and add additional actions. For example, let's say when someone subscribes to your funnel, you want to send them an email. You can add that action here. Once you have added the send email action, you can either choose from existing emails that you have in your system account. For example, I can choose this one right here, or you can add a new email by clicking this plus button and creating a brand new email from scratch. Now you can also add additional actions by clicking the add action button, and system team is consistently adding amazing features, including these automations. So keep checking back to see what else they are adding, or join their Facebook group where they announce every time there is a new feature alert. So for now, I'm good with these three rules. So I'm going to hit save. The next tab is A/B test. As the name suggests, you can run A/B testing. In order to do that, it's as simple as cloning your existing funnel, make the changes you want, and once you're done making the changes, you can go back to the A/B test and start the test. When you start the test, it's going to ask you what variant you want to use and what's the goal page. Once you select those two things, you're off to the races. All you have to do is hit the start A/B test button. Next is stats, that shows you all the statistics for this funnel. Let me show you a working funnel so you get an idea of what those stats look like. So here you can see how many page views I have gotten. Of those page views, how many people opted in, what's the conversion rate, and what's the dollar amount I'm getting. So it's pretty cool. System does all this for you, all included in your plan. Going back to our test funnel, the next is to see all the leads that are connected to this funnel. And then finally is your deadline settings. If you are running a limited time promotion or trying to create scarcity, this is a great feature. Today, we are not going to go in depth in deadline settings. I will create another video on how to use deadline settings, but know that this feature is available. With that, we are ready to test our funnel. So let me grab this URL. Let's go test it out incognito. All right, so the first thing to note here is once I type in my details and hit submit, I should get an error message because I haven't checked this box. Perfect. So I got the message, please check the box to continue. So now I'm going to check that box and hit the submit button. This brings me to my next step URL, which was the thank you page. One thing to note here, system is smart enough to know that my next step URL was the thank you page and not the clone that I created, because that clone is for A/B testing. Now let's see if that lead actually made it inside my system account. So if I go refresh this page, click on leads, you can see that I have one lead here. So let's click on this and see what other details system can give us about this lead. So I can see right away what the source URL was for the lead, what was the name of the squeeze page where the lead came from, and the lead automatically gets assigned an affiliate ID, which allows you to manage affiliates right within system. Further down, system has made this more like a CRM, so you can add custom fields, and you can see all the standard fields here as well. And then the tag that I had set up in my checkbox automation also gets applied. Going further down here, they are added to email campaigns. They should have received the welcome to AI Adventures email, and you can also see the tag and the course that they were enrolled in. Now what I want to do as my final step is log into that email account and see if I have received those emails, which should be the daily prompting automation email, which there's one email that goes out every single day, my welcome email to AI Adventures, and then also my enrollment email for this course. So let's go check it out. All right, I'm inside my disposable email account. So you can see here's the access to my 5-day AI challenge course, and then also welcome to my AI Adventures welcome email. Perfect. This worked like a charm, and just like that, we have set up our lead magnet funnel using system. And there you have it, course heroes. That is how easy it is to set up your lead magnet funnel using system. Just to remind you, if you decide to use system with my affiliate link, you get 50 pre-made templates. So I'll drop that affiliate link in the description below. It costs you the same money, but it helps me keep this channel running. So thank you for supporting me. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a new video. And until next time, keep creating.